A violent snowstorm covered the mountain highway like a white ocean. The wind screamed across the empty road, and the sky was dark like night, even though the clock showed evening. Snowflakes hit the windshield of Ethan Ward's Jeep like tiny needles. He could barely see 10 meters ahead. The road markers and trees disappeared inside the blizzard dot. Ethan drove slowly, his hands tight on the steering wheel. He was a simple man, no soldier, no hero. He worked as a mountain guide, someone who knew the land and weather. But tonight felt strange, almost dangerous. The blizzard was too strong, like something unnatural was happening. He looked to the side and whispered, "What is wrong with this storm?" The radio inside the Jeep made a strange sound static and broken whispers. The voice tried to speak, but only half of it came out. Emergency alert? Missing children. Dangerous. The message cut off. Ethan tried to adjust the signal, but suddenly the radio died completely. No power, no signal. Just silence. Then he saw them. Two small shapes lying in the snow ahead. At first, Ethan thought it might be animals. But as he got closer, he recognized arms, legs, bodies, children. They were curled up in the snow, unmoving, like they had been there a long time. Ethan slammed the brakes and jumped out of the Jeep. The cold attacked him immediately. The wind tried to push him back. He forced himself forward and knelt beside the children. They were not human. Their skin was pale with a soft silver tone. Their faces were smooth, with large eyes and small nose lines. Strange symbols glowed faintly on their necks, like blue markings. They wore thin metallic suits that looked like they were made for a warmer place. Not a storm like this. One of them, a girl, opened her eyes. She looked at Ethan with fear, confusion, and hope. "Help. Please," she whispered. Her voice was weak, shaking. The other child, a boy, tried to speak but could not. He only reached out with his hand, asking silently for help. Ethan did not think. He just acted. He picked them up gently and carried them to his Jeep. They were cold like ice, shivering so much that their teeth clicked inside the Jeep. Ethan wrapped them in blankets and turned the heater to the highest level. He opened a thermos and gave the girl warm water. "What happened to you? Who are you?" Ethan asked softly. The children looked at each other. They did not answer. Maybe they could not. Maybe they were afraid. Finally, the girl spoke, her words slow and broken. "People. Coming to take us. Hurt us, please. Don't let them." Her eyes filled with tears. The boy hid his face like he expected to be taken again. The Jeep engines suddenly flickered, like something around them was affecting the power. The lights dimmed. The heater stuttered. The snowstorm outside grew louder. Ethan looked in the mirror. 4 black SUVs were coming down the road. Their headlights cut through the blizzard like blades. They were driving fast, too fast for a storm like this. Ethan's heartbeat grew loud. Something was wrong. He could feel it in the air, like the storm itself wanted him to run. The SUVs got closer. Dark, armored shapes. He could not see the drivers, only shadows. The children panicked. The boy grabbed Ethan's sleeve with shaking hands and whispered one word, "Hide." But there was no place to hide. No buildings. No houses. Only snow and mountain. Ethan put the Jeep in gear and hit the accelerator. The tires spun on the ice, then caught traction, and the Jeep moved forward through the storm. In the rear mirror, the SUVs spread out like wolves hunting prey. They were not random travelers. They were searching, watching, hunting. For the children, Ethan whispered to himself, "What did I just get into?" He looked at the frightened faces of the alien children wrapped in blankets. They looked so lost, so scared, like they had nowhere else to go. Ethan felt something inside him change. He could not leave them. He would not let them be taken. "I'll keep you safe," he promised, even though he was not sure if he could. For a moment, the storm became silent, like the world was holding its breath. Then the SUVs turned on their roof lights, bright red and white emergency beams. They stopped behind Ethan's Jeep. Their doors opened. Dark figures stepped out. Figures with weapons. The snowstorm howled like a warning. And Ethan realized this night was only the beginning. The snowstorm raged harder as Ethan pressed the gas pedal. The Jeep slid across the icy road, engine growling against the cold. The alien children Lyra and Cale huddled together in the back seat, still shivering. Fear reflected in their wide, glowing eyes. Ethan could feel their terror like a weight inside the vehicle. Behind them, the 4 black SUVs began to move again. Their engines roared like hunting beasts. Long beams of headlights cut through the storm and chased Ethan like claws of light. Ethan kept his eyes on the mirror. "Hold on," he said. He tried to sound calm, even though worry was building in his chest like thunder. Suddenly, a voice echoed from one of the SUVs. A speaker crackled to life. "Vehicle ahead. Stop at once. Hand over the assets. You have 30 seconds. Assets?" Ethan felt anger spark inside him. They were calling the children assets. Not lives. Not people. Assets, like objects. Ethan shouted back through the window. "They're children, not property." No answer came, just the sound of engines getting closer. Lyra grabbed Ethan's arm. "Please, don't let them take us. They will hurt us. They will break us." Cale looked down at his hands, like he was afraid of something inside himself. His fingers glowed faintly blue. The Jeep's dashboard lights flickered and the radio sparked. Ethan frowned. "Hey, kid, are you doing that?" Cale looked ashamed. I cannot stop it. When I am afraid, the energy comes." Before Ethan could respond, a loud gunshot exploded behind them. A bullet shattered one of the side mirrors. Glass flew like sharp ice. The SUVs were close enough to open fire. Ethan swerved sharply, and the Jeep slid onto a side trail leading into the forest. Branches slapped the sides of the vehicle. Snow sprayed up like waves of white. "Where are we going?" Lyra asked, shaking. "A ranger station," Ethan answered. "An old one. If it's still standing, we might hide." The path narrowed as tall trees swallowed them. Behind, the SUVs struggled to follow, tires fighting the snow. For a moment, Ethan felt hope rise. Maybe they would lose them. But hope died fast. 2 SUVs broke off and took another route. They were intelligent, strategic, cutting off exits. Ethan muttered, "These people are trained. Not random criminals. They know what they're doing." A heavy silence filled the Jeep. Snow hit the windows like 1,000 drums. Finally, they reached the old ranger station, a wooden building half buried in snow. Windows cracked, roof bent under ice. Ethan parked behind the station, killed the headlights, and led the children inside. The door creaked open. The inside was dark and cold. A broken fireplace, dusty tables, maps hanging on the wall, and an old radio station from decades ago. Ethan locked the door and blocked it with a table. "Stay close. Don't make noise." Cale sat near the fireplace. Lyra leaned against the wall, trying to breathe. Ethan searched the station for something useful, a weapon, a key, a clue. He found an old flare gun. Not perfect, but better than nothing. And the radio on the desk flickered, just like the Jeep had. Cale's presence was affecting it. Static filled the room. A voice tried to break through. "Black Ridge Division. Target located. Extraction teams inbound." Ethan froze. Black Ridge Division. Not police. Not government. A secret organization. Before he could speak, The children reacted. Lyra placed her hands on the floor. The air around her shimmered. The station lights flickered, glowing brighter, then dimming. Kale's eyes glowed blue like lightning trapped in crystal. "There are more coming," he whispered. "I can feel them. Their minds. Their hate." Ethan knelt in front of him. "Listen to me. No matter what you are not alone now. I won't leave you." Kale's eyes softened. "No one ever said that to us before." A sudden noise outside, engines stopping. Doors opening. Footsteps in the snow. They had found the station. Ethan motioned the children toward the back door. "Move quietly. If we're lucky, we can slip out." Lyra whispered. "They have a machine with them. It can sense us." A searchlight cut across the windows. Shadows moved like ghosts. A metallic voice boomed, "Ethan Ward, step outside. Hand over the children. You have 10 seconds." Ethan held the flare gun tight. His breath shook, but he didn't back down. Not happening. Footsteps approached the door, but before they could break in, something strange happened. The blizzard outside twisted like a living creature. Wind slammed against the walls. Snow lifted from the ground and spun like a shield. Kale was shaking, energy building inside him. We cannot control it." Kale cried. Lyra grabbed his hand. "We have to run, now." Ethan pushed open the back door, and the three escaped into the storm behind them. Black Ridge soldiers rushed inside the station. Bullets tore through the wooden walls. The chase began again, but this time, Ethan wasn't running blindly. He was running with purpose. He would protect them, even if it cost him everything. The storm swallowed Ethan, Lyra, and Kale like a living wall of ice. Snow hit their faces. The wind pushed them back. Ethan held the children's hands as they ran through the dark forest behind the ranger station. Branches cracked under their boots, and every breath burned cold inside their lungs. Behind them, voices shouted orders. Flashlights cut through the trees. Black Ridge soldiers were close. Ethan whispered, "Don't look back. Keep moving." They reached an old hiking path. Snow covered everything, but Ethan remembered the mountains like an old friend. He knew every trail, every hidden turn. If he could get them to the cliffs, they might lose their pursuers. Kale stumbled. Ethan grabbed him before he fell. "You okay?" Ethan asked. Kale nodded weakly. "My energy. It is not stable. The storm makes it stronger." Lyra looked around nervously, her eyes glowing faint silver. "They built machines to find us. Machines that smell energy." Ethan didn't understand, but he didn't need to. He only needed to protect them. The hidden map, they reached a rocky cliff where the storm was calmer. Lyra lifted her hand, and a soft, shimmering blue light formed in the air. Lines, shapes, and symbols appeared like a map being drawn by invisible hands. Ethan stared, shocked. "What is that?" he asked. "A memory," Lyra said. "A map from our minds. It shows places where we can hide. Safe places." Ethan leaned closer. The map showed the mountain, the ranger station, and deeper inside the forest, something underground. A bunker got old, abandoned, but still alive with strange energy. That place, Kale whispered. "We were born there, or made there." Ethan felt cold crawl down his spine. "You mean on Earth?" Kale nodded, double quotes, "Yes. We are not visitors. We were created here, in secret." Ethan felt the world tilt. It wasn't just aliens on Earth. It was humans making aliens. New arrival branches snapped behind them. Ethan turned, ready to fight, but the figure who stepped out of the trees was not a Black Ridge soldier. It was a woman, tall, wearing silver armor that shimmered like ice. Her hair was white like snow, her eyes sharp and bright like polished metal. She moved silently, like she belonged to the storm. Lyra gasped, "Protector Cerise." The woman nodded once. "Lyra, Kale, you survived. Good." Ethan lifted the flare gun. "Who are you?" The woman didn't flinch. "I am Cerise, protector of the children. I was created to defend them. As long as I breathe, they will not be taken." Her voice was calm, but powerful, like she had seen war and never feared it. "Why are they chasing the children?" Ethan asked. Cerise looked toward the forest, where flashlights moved closer. "Because the children are the key," she said. "They are proof that humans have touched what they should not touch. Proof that Earth has crossed a line. The children are the future, and the future scares them." Ethan shook his head. "They're just kids." "No," Cerise replied. "They are more." She pointed to the glowing map. "Go to the bunker. The truth waits there. But hurry. Time is small." Black Ridge arrives. The forest exploded with sound as soldiers broke through the trees. Flashlights, armored suits, weapons humming with energy. Ethan felt fear rise. But Cerise stepped forward like a wall of steel. "You cannot have them," she said. A Black Ridge commander raised his weapon. "You are outdated technology. Cerise, shut down or be destroyed." Cerise smiled. "Then try." The fight began. Cerise moved like lightning. Her arms became blades of blue energy, cutting through snow and steel. Soldiers fell back, shouting orders, but Cerise was faster than their weapons, stronger than their armor. Ethan didn't stay to watch. He grabbed the children and ran. Cerise had given them a chance, and he would not waste it. The escape, they reached the other side of the cliff. Snow roared from overhead as wind cut through the trees. The entrance to the bunker was hidden behind a frozen waterfall, a steel door half buried in ice. "How do we get in?" Ethan asked. Kale stepped forward. His hands glowed. Lyra placed her hand beside his. Together, they touched the ice. It cracked. Blue light spread like veins under the surface. The door opened. Ethan guided them inside, and the bunker lights turned on by themselves. Like the place recognized the children, machines hummed awake. Screens flickered with alien symbols. Old files, loaded on dusty monitors. Project names flashed again and again. Project Starborn, Genesis Children. Property of Black Ridge Division. Ethan felt sick. Humans made them, raised them like experiments. And now wanted them back. Kale looked up at Ethan, voice breaking. "We never asked to be born. We never asked to be made." Ethan put a hand on his shoulder. "You're not experiments. You're children. And I will protect you, no matter what." Outside, gunfire echoed again. Cerise was losing ground. The bunker walls shook. Black Ridge was coming, and now there was no turning back. Inside the bunker, the air felt different, heavy, old, and full of secrets. Dim yellow lights flickered above Ethan, Lyra, and Kale as they walked deeper into the underground corridors. Every step echoed like footsteps in a tomb. Dust covered the walls, and wires hung like dead vines. The bunker was not just a hideout. It was a graveyard of forgotten experiments. Ethan looked at the old screens, still glowing with strange blue symbols. Did humans build all this? He asked quietly. Lyra nodded. "They built it with us in mind. They made us here." Kale hugged himself, shivering not from cold, but from memory. "We remember flashes, metal rooms, needles, voices in the dark." Ethan felt anger burn in his chest. No child should remember pain like that. Dottie turned to a control panel that beeped weakly. As if waking from a long sleep, a video started playing automatically. A scientist appeared on the screen, exhausted, pale and scared. "This is Dr. Heil. if anyone finds this message. The project has failed. The children, Lyra and Kale, cannot be controlled. Their energy reacts to emotion. Fear makes them stronger. Rage makes them unstoppable. We have created something beyond our understanding. And Black Ridge wants to weaponize them. Ethan's hands clenched into fists. The video continued. If the children escape, protect them. They are not tools. They are not soldiers. They are life. The screen cut to static. Kale's voice was small. They were afraid of us. Ethan knelt in front of him. They were afraid because they didn't understand you. But I'm not afraid. Lyra stared at Ethan with wide eyes. Why? We are dangerous. Because, Ethan said, placing his hand on theirs, you are not monsters. You are children. And someone needs to stand with you? For the first time, Lyra's eyes softened. For the first time, Kale looked like he believed someone cared. Cerise returns. The bunker door slammed open. Snow blew in, and Cerise stumbled inside, armor damaged, shoulder cracked where energy weapons had hit. She breathed hard, sparks twitching from her suit like broken stars. They are close, Cerise warned. Black Ridge has heavy weapons. They will break in soon. Ethan helped her stand. Can you fight? Cerise nodded, but her voice was weak. I can hold them for a while, but not forever. Lyra ran to her. You came for us. I always will, Cerise said, placing a hand on her head. You are not tools. You are hope. Kale pointed to a metal door deeper in the facility. There is something there. Something important. I can feel it. Ethan pushed the door open, and the room beyond looked different than the rest of the bunker. It was clean, advanced, lit by blue energy flowing through the walls. Like rivers of light. In the center stood a pod like the children's size connected to wires, screens, and a control panel. Above the pod, a label glowed. Starheart, Dimensional Energy Core. Cerise frowned. This is what they wanted. This device can boost the children's powers beyond control. Enough to tear open the sky. Ethan looked at Lyra and Kale. If Black Ridge gets this, they won't just take you. They'll start a war. Lyra stepped forward. We cannot let them have it. Black Ridge breaks in the bunker's alarms screamed suddenly. Red lights flashed. Metal shutters slammed down. Explosions shook dust from the ceiling. Black Ridge troops had breached the entrance. We found them. A soldier shouted. Capture the children alive. Kill the man in the android. Cerise raised her arms, energy blades forming again. Stay behind me. Ethan grabbed the flare gun. Not much against rifles, but he wasn't letting anyone touch the kids. Soldiers stormed into the hallway armored, masked, armed with humming plasma rifles. The commander stepped forward, helmet shining. You can't protect them. Ethan warned. They belong to us. Ethan took a step forward anyway. They don't belong to anyone. The commander aimed his weapon. You will die for them? Ethan didn't blink. If I have to. Lyra gasped. Kale's eyes began glowing brighter than ever. The air crackled, lights flickered, and electricity filled the room like a storm waiting to explode. Cerise shouted, Kale, control it. If you release too much. But it was too late. Kale raised his hands, and energy exploded outward like a shockwave. Wind roared through the bunker. Lights shattered. Soldiers were thrown back like leaves in a hurricane. Lyra joined her power to his. Their hands met. Their energy fused. And suddenly, the bunker wasn't just a room. It felt like a door to something bigger. Something awake. The walls glowed. The machines woke. The Starheart pulsed like a heartbeat. Black Ridge soldiers froze, terrified. The commander screamed, shut them down. Now. Cerise stepped in front of the children. Ethan stood beside her. The storm inside the bunker grew, building toward something unstoppable. This was no longer a chase. It was the moment the world began to change. The bunker couldn't hold any longer. Cracks tore across the ceiling as Black Ridge soldiers forced their way in. The Starheart energy pulsed like thunder inside the room, lighting everything in bright blue. Sparks danced around Lyra and Kale like electric snow, and even Cerise struggled to hold her balance. Ethan knew they had only seconds to escape. "Everyone move," he shouted. "We have to leave now." Cerise opened a hidden emergency exit flap in the wall. It led to a narrow tunnel, dark and cold, just wide enough to crawl through. Ethan helped the children inside first, then followed, while Cerise covered the rear with her glowing energy blades. Behind them, the commander's voice echoed through the bunker. "They're heading to the north exit. Cut them off. Do not let them reach the observatory." Ethan froze. He hadn't said a word about the observatory. How did they know? Cerise whispered, "They can track the children's energy. We must move faster." Into the blizzard, they crawled out of the tunnel and into open snow. The night sky stretched above them, dark, stormy, and full of swirling ice. The wind howled like the storm itself was hunting them. The old mountain observatory stood at the top of a ridge, barely visible through the blizzard, its tall tower, like a ghost watching from above. It used to be a science research building, but it had been abandoned for years. Ethan pointed. "If we reach that tower, we might send a signal. Maybe to someone who can help." Lyra's eyes widened. "To our people? Or anyone who's not trying to kill us," Ethan said. They ran through the snow, stumbling, slipping, pushing forward as the storm grew even worse. Something about Kale's fear made the blizzard stronger. Snow twisted in circles around him like it could hear his heartbeat. "Kale, breathe slowly," Ethan said. "You're making the storm react." Kale nodded, tears freezing on his cheeks. "I don't want to be a weapon." "You're not," Ethan said. "You're a child, and we will prove it to them." Reaching the observatory, they reached the doors of the observatory and forced them open. The inside smelled like metal and dust, but the power still worked. Emergency lights glowed red, guiding them down the hall like a warning. The main control room was full of old computers, broken screens, and a massive antenna system that pointed toward the sky. Ethan rushed to the panel. "Can you get a signal out?" Cerise asked. "I can try," Ethan said, flipping switches. Lyra stepped close. "I can help. I remember things from before." Her fingers touched the panel, and the computers came alive. Screens flashed. The antenna outside started moving, pointing upward through the storm. Kale and Cerise stood guard near the windows. Outside, headlights appeared through the snow. Black Ridge SUVs. More than before, they were surrounding the observatory. The last stand begins. The doors shook as soldiers rammed them. Cerise raised her blades. "They are here." Ethan worked faster. Lyra closed her eyes, whispering strange words, sending energy into the systems. The tower antenna glowed blue. Kale whispered, "They are afraid of us. That is why they want to control us." "No," Ethan said. "They are afraid of what you could become without them." Boom. The doors burst open. Black Ridge soldiers stormed inside. Ethan fired the flare. Gun-bright red light and heat exploded in the hallway, forcing soldiers back for a moment. Cerise moved like lightning, cutting through rifles, knocking soldiers aside. But more kept coming. The commander entered last. Calm, confident, weapon drawn. "You've reached the end." Ethan Ward, step aside. Ethan blocked his path. "No. You don't understand," the commander said. "Earth cannot survive what these children will become." "They will become what you teach them to be," Ethan replied. Not what you fear. The signal, Lyra screamed. It's working. The antenna fired a beam of energy into the sky bright blue, cutting through clouds and storm. It was more than radio, more than human technology. It was a message across worlds. Kale's voice echoed with power. We are alive. Please find us. The storm outside suddenly stopped. Silence. A second later, deep hum filled the sky. Lights appeared above the clouds. A shape descended, large, metallic, otherworldly. A ship. Black Ridge soldiers. Froze. The commander lowered his weapon, eyes wide with shock. That can't be. They were not supposed to respond. Ethan stepped forward. You don't get to decide anymore. A new arrival, the ship hovered above the observatory, casting a silver glow across the snow and trees. A ramp lowered. A figure stood inside the light, tall, armored, alien, royal in posture. Lyra, Kale, the voice said. Your people have come. Kale smiled for the first time. Lyra reached for Ethan's hand. You saved us, she said. Ethan nodded. No, you saved yourselves. I just refused to let you stand alone. Cerise looked at him with something like respect. You were only human. And you were enough. The commander shouted orders, desperate. Stop that ship. Do not let them leave. But it was too late. The observatory door sealed. The children walked toward the ship, and the world changed. Cold air moved through the ruined cabin like a ghost, and Michael stood there, holding the two alien children close. The SUVs outside had not moved since they arrived, but everyone inside felt danger slowly growing. The alien boy looked at Michael with fear in his eyes. Michael, they are here for us, he whispered. Michael nodded. I know, but I will not let them take you. The front door suddenly shook, like someone hit it with a shoulder. Snow fell from the doorframe. Michael stepped in front of the children, ready to defend them, even though he had no plan and no weapon besides his courage. The door burst open. 4 men entered, wearing black tactical uniforms and snow goggles. Their boots hit the wooden floor like thunder. Behind them, a man stepped in, calm and confident. He did not wear a mask. His eyes were sharp, cold, and intelligent. Samuel Drake, leader of the secret organization, enemy from the past. Michael Lawson? Drake said softly. I knew it would be you. He spoke like he was greeting an old friend, but there was poison in his tone. Still trying to save everyone, even when the world spits on you? Michael didn't move. They're just children. Leave them alone. Drake smiled like he had already won. Those are not children. They are alien experiments. Their parents escaped with priceless information, and they hid something inside their heads. Something humanity needs. The girl stepped back, scared. Michael saw her hand glowing faintly again, like a nervous spark of power. You don't get to decide their future, Michael said. Drake raised his hand. His men pointed their weapons at Michael's chest. Actually, Michael, I do. Suddenly, the alien boy screamed, his voice shaking the walls like an explosion. All the windows shattered. Snow flew inside the cabin like a storm. The black uniformed men fell to their knees, covering their ears. Drake looked surprised for the first time. Michael grabbed the children. Run! They rushed toward the back door and into the blizzard. Snow bit their skin like knives. In the distance, Michael saw the outline of a large building. A communication tower. Metal, antennas, lights blinking. It looked abandoned. That's where we go. Michael shouted. The children nodded and followed. Behind them, Drake's voice echoed, Run if you want. You can't hide forever, Michael. They pushed through snowbanks until they reached the metal door of the tower. Michael tried the handle. Locked. The alien girl stepped forward, placed her hand on the metal, and her glowing palm melted the ice around the lock. The mechanism clicked open like magic meeting steel. Inside, the building was dark. Emergency lights flickered. Dust floated in the air like it had been untouched for years. Michael closed the door and locked it. The children shivered from fear, not cold. Then, from the shadows, a voice spoke. You were followed. Michael jumped, ready to fight, but a woman stepped forward. She wore a long coat, fur snow around her shoulders. Her eyes were silver, not human. She looked strong, older, and powerful. The alien children gasped. Mother? The woman nodded as she moved closer. My children. You survived. She hugged them both. Michael watched, shocked. He had not expected this. The woman looked at him with deep gratitude. You saved them, she said. And because of that, you have earned the truth. Michael took a breath. Then tell me, why is Drake after them? What is inside their heads? The woman answered slowly, carefully. They carry the location of something hidden in space. Something ancient. Something humanity lost long ago. A weapon or a solution. It depends who holds it. In the wrong hands, it will end your world. In the right hands, it will save both our species. Michael felt the weight of her words. His heartbeat was loud in his ears. And you want me to help? Yes, she said. Because the prophecy chose you. A human with no power, but a heart strong enough to change the future. Before Michael could reply, explosions shook the tower. Shots echoed. Glass cracked. Drake's men were inside already, surrounding them. The woman turned to Michael. They are breaking in. We must leave now. Follow me. There is a hidden underground tunnel. It leads to the mountains. We can escape if we hurry. Michael nodded. He picked up the boy and held the girl's hand. The woman rushed ahead. Stay close. The sound of boots and gunfire came closer. Michael looked back. Drake himself stepped into the hall, aiming his weapon. Michael, Drake shouted, this is your last chance. Give me the children, or I will take them from your dead hands. Michael stared back, fearless. Then you'll have to try. The next moment everything moved at once. Powers, bullets, screams, snow, metal doors slamming. The escape tunnel opened, and they ran. The tunnel was narrow, cold, and dark. Michael ran with the alien children, the mother leading the way. Behind them, the sound of gunfire echoed like thunder rolling down metal walls. Drake's men were close. Too close. We are almost out, the alien mother said. Her voice was calm, but her steps were fast. Ahead is the mountain exit. Michael held the children's hands. Their small fingers were shaking, but they did not stop. They trusted him. Even if he did not feel ready to be a hero, they believed he was one. The tunnel opened into a large stone chamber, lit by crystal-like lights growing from the ceiling. In the center stood a round device made of metal and unknown technology. It hummed softly, like it was waiting for something. The alien children stared at it. That is the memory gate, the boy whispered. It will unlock the information in our minds. Michael turned to the mother. So this is what Drake wants. She nodded. Yes, a weapon from the stars. Strong enough to end wars or end planets. We cannot let it fall in wrong hands. Before Michael could speak, the ground shook. A blast, a door burst open. Snow blew into the chamber, and Drake stepped inside, armed and fearless, men behind him. No more running, Drake said. Michael, step away from them. Michael moved in front of the children. Even the alien mother looked surprised at his bravery. Drake sighed. Last chance, give them to me. Michael shook his head. I won't. They're just children. They are keys, Drake growled. Not children. Keys to a cosmic weapon. And humanity must control it. The alien mother stepped forward. Her silver eyes glowed. Humanity had its chance. That weapon was made to protect life, not destroy it. Drake aimed his gun at her. Life only survives by controlling power. This universe respects strength. Michael clenched his fists. His voice was low but strong. No, this universe respects the ones who protect others. Drake fired. The alien girl screamed, and a barrier of light exploded from her hands. The bullet hit the energy field and melted into sparks. The boy joined her. Their powers combined, glowing brighter and brighter, until the chamber shook like a storm made of stars. Drake's men fell back, covering their faces. Drake stared, shocked. What are they? He shouted. The alien mother answered. Hope. She looked at Michael. Touch the device. You must help them focus. Michael hesitated. Me? I don't have powers. You have something stronger, she said. A human heart that refuses to surrender. He nodded and stepped toward the device. The children placed their glowing hands on its surface. Michael put his hand with theirs. White light exploded around them. Images filled the chamber space. Galaxies, ancient ships, a map of the stars. A voice echoed in Michael's mind. Not human, not alien, something older. Defender chosen, protector selected. Michael gasped as the device accepted him. The children's power focused like a beam. They looked at him with trust. Drake stared in fear. Michael turned to him. It's over, Drake. This power is not yours. Drake tried to grab his weapon again. Michael raised his voice. Stop. The device reacted. Light shot across the room. Drake's gun flew from his hand like gravity itself changed. The chamber fell silent. Drake stepped back. You don't even know what you're holding. Do you think the world will thank you for saving aliens? They will hunt you. They will fear you. They will fear them. Michael looked down at the children. Then let them fear me too. But they will not harm them. The alien mother opened a portal shimmering blue, like a window into the stars. We must leave, she said. But the choice is yours, Michael. Come with us, or stay and defend your world. Either way, you are now part of something greater. Michael looked at the portal, then at the frozen mountain outside. His old life was gone. His new life was waiting. He smiled at the children. Wherever you go, I go. The children hugged him. The mother bowed her head with respect. You saved more than children today, she said. You saved the future. They stepped into the portal. Behind them, Drake shouted Michael's name in rage. But the light closed like a door, and Michael Lawson was gone, not running, not hiding, becoming something new, a protector, a legend, a human who faced the stars and did not kneel.